not the biggest defensive end. What do you think specifically allows him to thrive in the kind of environment that was there Saturday against those big dudes?
He's got a great get off, and so he gets his hands on people first a lot. Plays with great leverage. It's really, really strong pound for pound. Uses his hands well, positions his body, can get in a lot of creases, and just really just a tough, physical-minded player.
Guy would describe him last night as being one of the more respected guys in the locker room. What do you kind of see about him?
He's just ultra consistent. He shows up every day, the same attitude and same mindset. You know what you're going to get from him, which is high-level production, consistency. Does the little things well. Very selfless player, and just he practices, you know, wide open, and that's how you get better and how you help other guys get better.
Brent, how much do you guys know about Wofford yet, and is their offense, I know what they used to do under Coach Ayers, is it similar to
Very
that?
similar, yeah. A lot of option principles, and they do a great job. They understand how to get leverage and just run the triple from, you know, the shotgun for the most part. So they do a really nice job. They got good backs and some good receivers, get the ball to. It's a good play action game. Quarterbacks that can run and take it to the house. So they do a very nice job in their presentation, and again the things that they present to the defense, you know, force you to really play. Again, with great discipline and be physical and you know, not get bored of doing the little things well.
How similar or different is their option game compared to what you used to face in Georgia Tech?
I mean, similar in that there's a dive, you know, quarterback, alley pitch player. It's necessary, but other presentations, you know, quite a bit different.
Tanner says that teams like Wofford, they run this triple option probably better than anybody because maybe they're not as talented and stuff, so they have to be more fundamentally sound.
Yeah, I don't know about the talent, but just the scheme neutralizes your skill, and it becomes again a leverage in a numbers game. And they do a very nice job at understanding those things.
I know off-season trips as a coach to other programs are pretty routine, but I think you went to Iowa State this off-season and that kind of just stands out just because of their front. Were you able to take advantage of everything that visit?
Yeah, they do a nice job. They're doing more with less as well as anybody. I grew up in a program at Kansas State that's, you know, we took a lot of pride in exactly that, and so I have tremendous respect, you know, for the success level that they've had, knowing the kind of precision and skill that they see week in and week out. They're doing something right, and but they're doing something right as much as anything, playing good run defense and leading the Big 12 the last few years. So that's what stood out to me. People think that Big 12 passes at every snap, and it's just you're not watching the games if you think that. And so they've done a tremendous job, you know, in defending the spread. And got a lot of respect for those guys.
What do you think about the win your Wildcats had on Saturday against Oklahoma?
Yeah. It's a hard place to play. It really is. And so it's a great win for, you know, the new staff and moving forward, and gives them a lot of credibility, and nothing surprises me, you know, week in and week out in college football. But it's a great win for their program for sure.
Last year's team was rife with a bunch of guys who were on NFL scouts' radars and fans knew. This year, not so much, but here they are performing well. Is that you derive more satisfaction from that?
No. Happy for the success, you know, that, you know, our guys are having, and they've been, you know, there's nothing better than, you know, playing well, you know, as a reward for the hard work that they put in. And but I'll take more satisfaction. It's all good. It's all the same to me, and just a different type of challenge, you know. But I know there's a lot of, you know, our guys are being evaluated. We got a lot of guys being evaluated in that back end, you know. So I can't remember all of our guys a year ago, but those guys up front. But from AJ to Tanner to Kayvon to Isaiah, that's a good group of guys. So
You talked about all the losses that you had in the front seven. Do you think you've had to adjust your defense more this year than any other year, just based on your personnel?
I don't know. 14, we lost a lot of guys across the board. We had 8 seniors maybe on defense in 14. So we had a lot of guys that still played. We had a lot of starters that we lost, but it was 15 with Shaq and Dodd. And then I think Carlos, Christian, we had some good young guys, kind of like Tate. Christian came in as a freshman, kind of contributed like Tyler. Tyler's actually a starter. Christian didn't need to be a starter. We had from DJ and Carlos, I believe. And I can't remember who all else was in there. Maybe Pagano still in there as well. We signed after 14. Yeah, we had lost quite a bit, but we had some the cut board. We still had some guys. We lost. We just had a lot of attrition, and then those guys being hurt this spring. So very comparable, you know, the turnover, the numbers, and with the injuries. Just think about these guys up front. It's, again, you're talking about without those guys this spring, 10, 11 guys that were in the 2 deep that weren't there anymore up front in the spring. So it's probably more turnover there than what we had in 14.
In that same vein, does your philosophy change at all when the strength and experience on your unit goes from being up front to being on the back end?
I just trying to maybe play a little heavier to your strengths, whatever those are. I don't think philosophy necessarily would change, you know, but maybe structurally you might have to reposition some things to play to your strengths.
You had a
indication that Tyler was going to be a guy that would come in.
We just hoped, you know, we just hoped. I mean, there's no telling. You know, when the guy gets to college, what kind of discipline and commitment that they have, and the toughness to fight through the bad days, and willingness to learn and work on their own. You don't ever really know. But you thought that he had maturity, and he was a little more developed in his fundamentals and technique, and he had great humility and toughness to him. So a lot of times that transitions when you have those types of intangibles, that they're able to bring those with them. But you know, if a guy comes in with great talent and he's not a committed guy, likes to party, or he don't like school, or he don't like to get, you know, chewed out, doesn't handle, and those things travel with you as well usually, and until you kind of grow up. So you know, he had a really, really good, strong foundation coming in with those types of things.
You mentioned Jordan and Niles being out for the spring. In hindsight, sort of looking back, how beneficial was that for
It
Tyler?
was probably very beneficial for, you know, a lot of guys, but it wasn't beneficial for them, you know. So there's give and take there, you know, trying to get them going and get them ready, you know, for the season. Because again, if you look at the young guys, really, Tyler's only one that's playing inside. Was playing, you know, significant snaps.
8 straight opponents you've held under 300 yards. That's the longest streak here since '56. Do you ever have a streak like that at Oklahoma that you can recall?
I don't know. I don't. I'll be honest. Good for our guys, you know, playing well, but you know, you don't ever. Plenty of times you've given up over 300 yards, but you feel like you played really well. So you kind of keep it in perspective. You know if you're playing well, you know if you're not. So.
Hey Brent, can you speak on the season that Kayvon Wallace is having and the effect he's having as far as a run support guy this year?
Yeah, I mean he's doing a lot well. And go back to think about the Louisville play early in the game where he picks off that play action down the middle. And Kayvon's been a really good player since he got here, and he's instinctive and he's tough. He cares. He leads. Plays with a lot of emotion. A really smart guy. Got great awareness. and he was a leader on and off the field for us. So he's got tremendous versatility. Again, he plays safety, he plays Sam, he plays nickel, has played corner as well in the past, and could do so if we needed him. So it brings, it's like having him's like having three guys that you can move around. You have a lot of depth with just him.
Same,
Coach Elliott.
it's same can be same with Isaiah.
Sure.
And how fun is it to have guys like that, especially Isaiah in the way he's playing this year? As a play caller.
Yeah, fun. I don't say, this is fun. I don't know. Use your word, not mine.
Yeah.
I think it's
fun.
good. I think it's good. It gives you flexibility, and it's never the scheme. It's always what they can do, what they know, what they can execute, the precision, the timing, the disguise, the aggression. Those are the things that determine whether or not. So when you have guys that are capable of doing more than one thing, it really does give you tremendous flexibility. And we've got some guys, in that back end that, again, they're very versatile. That that versatility, gives you versatility within the big scheme for sure.
Coach Elliott called you a pioneer on the defensive side of the ball. Without giving away, all your trade secrets, what do you think the next innovations on defense are going to be?
I have no idea. And we don't ever look at ourselves like that. But I just think the game was always evolving, always changing, and again, I just think the fruit's out there on the end of that limb, and that's where you got to go if you want to, have great growth or experience a lot of success. And there's risk involved in doing so sometimes, but I just got a lot of respect for the people you line up against, and both the skill and the coaching, and the way offenses are run now, from the sideline, where the coaches have on the other side of the ball, have the pen last, because they decide when the ball snapped. You better have some answers, and so that's all we're trying to do. We're really always trying to just survive, keep our head above water, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, and but never have been one to think that we're so great or so smart that we can just outsmart and out-scheme everybody, or our players are just better than everybody. We don't have a monopoly on any of those things, and we've got it pretty good. We've got great continuity, and we recruit great kids that have good football IQ and also good players. But still, it's our job to put them in a competitive advantage, when we can. So that's kind of really who we are. We're really trying to understand how offenses work, and how, again, what the trends are and how people are trying to attack the defenses. So, learned a long time ago, you better have an answer. And remember Bill Snyder said, well, what happens if your nose guard gets reached? We play Nebraska, and when they're running the option. And he doesn't want you to tell him that we're going to get our butts kicked. You better have an answer. And so we have a lot of fun, getting ready week in and week out, trying to put together a great plan. And I think to have a certain level of surprise is a good thing. When you're talking about football warfare, and but you still hang your hat on certain things, certain philosophies.
Do you feel like you guys have developed pretty good depth at linebacker?
Yeah, I mean, it's better than when we started the season, and really been pleased with the improvement, particularly this last week. I saw Mike and Jake and Balin all get in there. Kane all got in there and played well, and we can play winning football, and so I think we're certainly better, more experienced than we were at the beginning of the year. Some questions have been answered.
Thank you, Coach.